Thank you again, Ditti. What's going on inside the mind of Ditti listeners? My name is Tyler Butler. As I told you last week, I am the blogger of ESPN Upstate's own The Jump Off, a NBA blog, and some fantastic dialogue. I hope you guys go check it out. This week, I wanted to go over the current standings of the NBA and some of the surprises that I've seen so far. Let's kick everything off, shall we? Number one in the East Coast, and not only in the East, but the NBA, is the Boston Celtics. They are playing extremely motivated after that gruesome injury to Gordon Hayward. If you haven't seen it, go YouTube it if you can stomach it. But they're number one in the East Coast right now at 6-2, followed by the surprisingly Orlando Magic at 6-2 as well. Frank Vogel, the ex-Indiana Pacers coach, has those guys playing outstanding. I believe this is his second or third year down in Orlando, and they're starting to fit into that defensive mindset that he had with the Pacers. But speaking of the Pacers, they come in at number 3 in the East Coast right now, sitting at 5-3. I didn't see this coming. They pulled off a blockbuster trade, sending PG-13 over to OKC, receiving Victor Oladipo and Sabonis, who are key contributors to this team at this particular time. The number 4 team in the East is the Detroit Pistons, also at 5-3, looking pretty good. They're starting to come along with Avery Bradley, some veteran leadership on that team. Followed at number 5, the Charlotte Hornets, the local team at 5-3, picking up Dwight Howard in the offseason. Him and Kemba is starting to display some very good chemistry. Watch out for that team to make the playoffs this year. Toronto is at number 6. I thought they would be a top 1 through 5 team. I didn't think they would be in number 6. Right now, it's relatively early. A lot of the good teams in the Eastern Conference are not starting off pretty well. For example, the number 7 team in the East is the Washington Wizards at 4-3. A lot of people predicted them to go to the Eastern Conference Finals last year. Thought they would maybe take that step this year. Not very good bench. You also have one of the Morris twins out with the injury. He should be coming back this week. And number 8 is the Milwaukee Bucks, led by the MVP candidate of the season so far, the Greek Freak, putting up 34 points a game without attempting 3-point jumpers. It's quite amazing what he's doing over there in Milwaukee. But the surprise out of all of that, you didn't hear me mention anything about the Cleveland Cavs, who are at the bottom. Yes, I said the bottom, not the dead bottom, but third from the bottom at 3-5. I don't know what's going on in Cleveland. They had a players only meeting to try to air everything out. I know Derrick Rose is trying to come back from an injury. Also, they don't have Isaiah Thomas as of today, but there's no excuse for a LeBron-led team to be sitting at 3-5 right now with one of the worst records in the Eastern Conference. But let's go to the Western Conference, led by the Los Angeles Clippers at 5-2. Yes, I said it. The LA Clippers have the best record in the Western Conference at this particular time after trading away CP3 to Houston. But that Houston Rockets team is number 2 in the Western Conference, also at 6-3, just a slight bit ahead of the Clippers. But that third loss puts them in a 2 spot. Yes, they did pick up CP3, but he is currently injured. I do not think CP3 fits in with this team. They are better with James Harden running the point guard, and right now, since CP3 is out, it seems to be looking pretty good because they have the second best record in the Western Conference, followed by the Minnesota Timberwolves, my surprise team of the NBA, picking up Jimmy Butler and Taj Gibson. It's all coming around. They're trying to fit this defensive scheme with Tom Thibodeau and the rest of the young players. Watch out for this Minnesota Timberwolves team. The Memphis Grizzlies are at the 4th spot as we speak at 5-3. That was Ditti's surprise team, and I should have listened to him, Ditti. My apologies. Utah Jazz, a nice young defensive-minded team led by Rudy Gobert, their defensive stopper. I do expect them to make the playoffs. Golden State right now is at the 6th spot. Guys, do not overreact. Coach Phillips, if you're listening, don't worry. Steph Curry will get off. They will have a top seed before it's all said and done. Also, I expect the second best team in the West Coast, which is now right now the 7th best team, the San Antonio Spurs. Do not expect this team to stay at the bottom of the Western Conference, ladies and gentlemen. Kawhi Leonard has yet to step on the court once he gets back. Also, Tony Parker has not played as well. Once they get their team intact, expect them to pull off another winning streak as they do each and every single year. And the number 8 team in the Western Conference is the Oklahoma City Thunder, led by Westbrook. Went blank. PG-13 and also Carmelo Anthony. But they don't have a bench. I don't expect this OKC team to be a top 3 team. I do expect them to be around 4, 5, 6 range, only because there's no bench. They traded them all the way to acquire those 2 superstars to help out the former NBA MVP. So there you have it. Just another recap. In the East, you have Boston, Orlando, Indiana, Detroit, Charlotte, Toronto, Washington, Milwaukee. In the West is the Clippers, Houston, Minnesota, Memphis, Utah, Golden State, San Antonio, OKC. So far, the only big surprise I've seen right now is the play of the Cleveland Cavaliers. Golden State is off to a slow start, but I don't expect that to stay. But keep an eye on this Cleveland situation. I don't know what's going on. Isaiah Thomas needs to hurry up and springboard some type of offense to this team. Their main concern right now in Cleveland is the defense. It is atrocious. One of the worst defenses in the NBA right now, giving up 117 points per game, and they gave up 124 last night to their opponent. So, ladies and gentlemen, keep an eye on that. That's all I have for this week on Inside the Mind of Ditti. Once again, my name is Tyler Butler. You guys can go read the blog on ESPNUpstate.com. That is the jump off. I hope you guys enjoyed it. I will see you next week. I'm out.